आदि पाश्चात्य देशकार्णे श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वीं रूपकथामह्यं ददाति स्वपदां. Yes, we can go ahead, step.
Hare Krishna Mataji, text 80. Not seeing him anywhere, I asked the sages about him. As I bowed before them and recited prayers, they did not even see me. Srila Sanatana Goswami explains that he asked the sages, "Where is the Supreme Lord?" Almost always situated in ecstatic trance, finding pleasure in the Supreme, all their desires fulfilled and served by the mystic perfections, all were perfect celibate sages. Srila Sanatana Goswami explains that the words almost always mean that sometimes they would converse amongst themselves and sometimes they would perform external worship of the Lord. My great desire to see the Lord did not bear fruit. Indeed, it seemed to be checked by associating with the sages. Because of seeing their great power, I stayed among them, and because of respect for my Guru's words, and also because I had seen the results it brings, I did not abandon my chanting. Srila Sanatana Goswami explains that Gopakumara's Guru had ordered him, "Never abandon your chanting." Because this place is naturally very pleasing to the heart, my chanting increased, and with that, my desire to see the Lord also increased. Saying that, I desired to go to Nilachala and see Lord Jagannatha, Pippalayana Muni said to me, Why do you wish to leave this great place and go to another? Why would you go to see the Supreme Lord with your eyes? Srila Sanatana Goswami explains that here the sages implies that the Supreme Lord is beyond the perception of the eyes and other senses. Fix your mind in meditation and you will always see him everywhere, within and without, as if he were always before you. In this way and not in another way, the Supreme Self, Lord Vasudeva, whose form is eternal and full of knowledge and bliss, will always appear in your purified heart. Srila Sanatana Goswami explains that this way to see the Lord is described in Srimad Bhagavatam 4.3.23. Pippalayana Muni here implies that because the Supreme Lord is all pervading and is manifest only by his own wish, he cannot be seen with the eyes or other senses. Because one cannot actually see without the action of the mind, the action of seeing the Lord with one's eyes is only perfectly done when the mind is also fixed on him. The happiness of all the senses rests in the happiness of the mind, and the action of the words, eyes, ears, and other senses also rest in the action of the mind. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare. Someone else, dear devotees. Hare Krishna. Hare. Mataji, I have to read without the action of the mind?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Without the action of the mind, the actions of all the senses are fruitless. When the mind does not act, one cannot experience anything. If sometimes out of maybe love for his devotee, the Lord appears and is seen with the eyes, he is actually seen with the eye of transcendental knowledge, although one may think he is seen with the physical eyes. Srila Sanatana Goswami explains that someone may protest Dhruva, Prahlad, and others saw the Lord with their eyes. To answer, Pipalayana Muni speaks this verse. He asserts that the senses are helpless without the mind. Or if by the power of his mercy he is seen by the external eyes, the bliss of seeing him is felt in the mind. Srila Sanatana Goswami explains that the power of the Lord's mercy is described in the following words of Srila Sridhara Swami. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has the form of Satchit Ananda, transcendental bliss, knowledge, and eternity. I offer my respectful obeisances unto He who turns the dumb into eloquent speakers and enables the lame to cross mountains. Such is the mercy of the Lord. After he is no longer. Mataji, can you please scroll down? After he is no longer visible to the eyes, he still enjoys pastimes in the mind. The mind is the place where the happiness of seeing him is felt. By his mercy, the happiness in the mind expands. The happiness in the senses has no power to expand in that way. When one sees the Lord in meditation, it is as if one sees him directly. The demigod Brahma gives evidence for this special mercy of the Lord. Srila Sanatana Goswami explains that, seen in meditation, the Lord grants benedictions, talks with the devotee, touches him, and relates to him in many ways. Lord Brahma's vision of the Lord is described in Srimad Bhagavatam 2.9.9, 2.9.14, 2.9.17, 18, 2.937, 2.3.8, 22, 23, 3.833, 3.929, and 3.929. It is said that the direct sight of the Lord delights the devotees, but fills Kamsa, Duryodhana, and those like them with fear and a host of faults. Srila Sanatana Goswami explains that anger and envy are examples of some of the faults here. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Ma. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Text 98 and 99. Even though they directly saw Lord Narayana's handsome, glorious, blissful form, with its virtues delights all the senses, Madhu, Kaitaba, and a host of other sinful demons would not abandon their wickedness which tormented everyone. Text 100. To show the glories of devotional service, the blissful Lord delights his devotees and hides that delight from others. Srila Sanatana Goswami explains that as a fire's heat is concealed by smoke, so the Lord conceals from the demons the bliss of seeing him. This verse is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam 7.1.18. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Of the 9 ways of devotional service, remembering the Lord is the best, for it engages the mind, which is the best of the senses. The mind is able without stopping, and as much as it wishes, to give to the Lord pure love, the most confidential of spiritual gifts. Srila Sanatana Goswami explains that love for the Lord is more confidential than transcendental knowledge and renunciation. The
This,
word,
yeah,
Mataji, please go ahead.
that's very nice. Mm, this is beautiful that all the senses, they in the functionality of all the senses is fructified only if the mind is perceiving and relishing. Mm. Like, what's the point of putting some food on the tongue? But when there is absent-minded eating, when we are eating in rush, even if it's really yummy, if you're just thinking of something, or if we are in rush, it may be on the tongue, that yummy food, but mind is not present for that, occupied with something else. So even if it's yummy food or a bitter medicine, it's the same, like that, the mind. So the functionality of the senses is fructified only when the is mind is accepting what comes through the senses. In the same way, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam. All these, the Shravanam hearing part, hearing about the Lord, is the functionality of the Shravanam is fructified when there is Smaranam. All the Shravanam is to see that Smaranam happens. I know it here, the mind, this mind word is coming, but I'm curious to see what the Sanskrit word is for here. Mana eva samahitam. Mana. 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 Manasu, chittam, mind. Chitta, heart. So much interchangeable. Especially when it comes to Shravanam, Kirtanam. This is all for continuous smaranam. Smaranam. Padasevanam, Vandanam, all of these things, activities, and the purpose of all these activities ultimately for smaranam. Smaranam. That's so beautiful. Shravanam, hearing about the Lord, speaking of the Lord, can happen, but the purpose of that is so that it can get deep to a point of smaranam. All this. So underlying common denominator for all of these angas is so much like smaranam. And smaranam actually is, it's not merely remembering. Smaranam is after Shravanam, after hearing, there is Mananam. Mananam is thinking about what we have heard about the Lord, and then understanding, thinking like that. And Smaranam, it is said that it is such a deeper aspect, really a deeper aspect, where it just manifests. It means it is beyond the intellectual understanding of what was heard beyond contemplating it on the level of tattva. Contemplating on the level of tattva is mananam, and beyond that is smaranam. So it's more like there is no effort to remember something. It's just happening. It's just happening, manifesting like that. Antyakali Mamiva Smaran Muktva Kalaivaram. So much fixed. The Shravanam has gotten so deep that it is in the layer of Smarana. So, yes, Prabhu, please.
Thank you, Mataji. Pure love, which is the goal to be attained by other spiritual practices, which is the best of all goals of life, which is the only powerful way to bring the Supreme Lord under one's domain, which is only attained by the Lord's mercy, which is the only great treasure of the devotees, which is flooded with the sweetness of wonderful transcendental bliss, which is glorious beyond description, and which manifests the transformations of ecstasy, arises from the actions of the mind.
How much mercy is there? It's just doses and doses and doses of mercy. The opportunity to hear about the Lord. That is also, the first layer of mercy, just to hear about the Lord. And how much mercy is that? Not only hearing, but if the contemplation is going on, that is, the mercy is continuing. How much more mercy is that? That the mercy has gone from just giving Shravanam to Mananam. And what more mercy is that if a jiva can do Smaranam? Because it is only with mercy that all these are possible. Only with mercy. Only with mercy. If these things are happening to us in our devotion, when these things are happening to us, I don't even want to say if these things are happening. When these things are happening, because they will happen to all the jivas. The sweet will of the Lord. When these are happening, it is to be understood that only mercy is in action. Only mercy is in action. How blinded we are that we don't. Only mercy is in action. It's what mercy is that? Past Shravanam, Mananam is going on. Past Mananam, Smaranam is going on. This is so beautiful to hear. Mananam, Smaranam, all the Shravanam is meant for that. So much so that it manifests. The whole time is meant for this actually. Why are we living? Why are we maintaining these bodies? Why are we doing these jobs? Get some food, maintain this body. Maintain this body for what? For what? To hear. To hear why. So this Smaranam can happen. Mhm. The whole day, morning till evening, until the jiva goes to sleep. So much time, so much time, so many hours, so means they're just, isn't that such a waste? Such a waste. From morning till evening, when there is no mananam, when there is no smaranam, the very purpose of every day, the purpose of a day, the purpose of this body, sustaining this body, is solely for this purpose, only for this purpose, to be able to hear and mercy, living in mercy. So, Govinda. Yes, Prabhu, I think 8:23. I'm sorry, I don't know if I interrupted you when I'm hearing. Was it complete, Prabhu, whatever you were reading?
Yes, Mataji. We can continue from Srila Sanatana Goswami explains tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, there is a little bit only, right? You
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to?
Yeah.
Yes. Right? You
Srila
can.
Sanatana Goswami explains that the other spiritual practices begin with transcendental knowledge and renunciation, and the goals of the life are piety, sense gratification, economic development, and liberation.
Mhm. Those are other spiritual practices begin with transcendental knowledge and renunciation. Pure love, which is the goal to be attained by other spiritual practices, best of the goals of life. Powerful way to bring the Supreme Lord under one's dominion. Glorious beyond description, which maintains the transformations of ecstasy arises from the actions of chitta. Those are actually not just, I know that this translation is says mind, but this is more of chitta, because the smaranam can happen only after maranam. Maranam is death of the subtle body, death of the mind, death of this false ego. Only after the death of the false ego and mind, only after that. Smaranam is after maranam. Srila Jagannathas Babaji Maharaj. Or Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. Probably Jagannath. No, it's Gaur Kishore Das. So, yeah, the Acharya. Smaranam is after maranam. So, mind will not be there anymore. This mind with modes, that has to dissolve, and only after that the smaranam happens. So it's more of chitta. Yeah. But thank you, Prabhu, and dear devotees. Anything, please, from
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept my pranams.
my pranams to you.
Mataji, for this smarana to happen, the Shravana, I feel, should have a particular quality because it all starts over there, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
So, I'm I had a god sister who was sharing with me and, was telling me that been practicing for a while, and she was telling me she's going through the valleys right now, no peak moments, which was normal. But, and, she totally recognizes, and she was saying, Japa become strong when Shravana is strong. And I don't know why, but, even my Shravana, I'm not able to do properly. And she says, even though, coming and hearing from qualified speakers, all that, but something is missing. So I don't know, she was asking me, and I didn't know what to really say. So I'm curious, and today you brought the same thing up, I mean, similar in the sense that, smarana and the marana has to happen, the false ego, all that, the mind has to die. But for all that, it starts with Shravana. So how can I fix my Shravana, Mataji? What is that quality of Shravana? Why do we sometimes struggle with that itself?
Mm. Two things, same as we have heard regarding Nama. Asat Trishna and Hrudaya Daurbalya. This. And this is why the Tattva Brahma. So these two things, Asat Trishna and Hrudaya Daurbalya. See, Shravanam is when we are hearing, but the mind is pulled to something else. So it is thinking something else is important than what is coming now. So, so deep inside, we don't really give this top priority to what we are hearing because mind is thinking of something else, same as Nama. But that is not a major obstacle because Asat Trishna can go away. As we constantly hear with the Sangha of devotees, when that sincere and serious mood for the Lord is present, that aura, that atmosphere, that is potent enough for a jiva to make them free of asat trishna, free of hankering for something else. So when we expose ourselves to that kind of sangha, to that kind of aura and vibration, where the spirituality is being, is valued so much, worshipped so much, then on a regular basis, even if it is mechanical, there is asat trishna, there is pulling of the mind. But one thing has to happen is, yes, there may be pulling of the mind, but I need to be in this sangha. I need to expose myself, my consciousness, to this kind of vibrations, to this aura. That has to happen. So once we are regularly exposing to that, then if it is just asat trishna, that will easily be fixed without much of an effort. We will naturally be getting attracted towards this more than the mind pulling. Even if the mind pulls, because the attraction is there, a little more gradually is getting up, then the pulling of the mind to something else is not that strong. Not that ऐसे switch होता है ना, okay, turn on, turn off, ऐसे नहीं. Though the mind is pulling, we will still be inclined to be in the sangha. As param drishtva nivartate. Though there is hankering for the sense gratification inside, still, because the sangha has that greater taste than the sense gratification, even a drop of it when tasted, it is possible to stay away from not to indulge in the sense gratification, though the pull is there. So it is possible. All we have to do is just regularly expose ourselves to that aura, and that is not a big problem. It will help. Second thing is Hrudaya Daurbalya. Hrudaya Daurbalya means, see, when we are accumulating this mercy, all this is really accumulation of lot of mercy. ऐसे this is तीव्रेण भक्ति योगेन. Morning, evening, in between, ऐसा. And the messages in between. This is तीव्रेण भक्ति योगेन. So this is actually really accumulating the mercy. So why is there nothing substantial happening then? क्योंकि holes है ना. Even though accumulating, when the heart has holes, then whatever is being accumulated is just going away through the holes, is seeping away. So that is Hrudaya Daurbalyam. That is because though we are accumulating mercy on one side, Hrudaya Daurbalyam is this. It is explained in Mantra. There is a link between Asat Trishna and Hrudaya Daurbalyam. It's like this. When I am wanting something from outside, say, most common one is, say, recognition. That's most common one. So we put that aside and pull ourselves to the Sangha. Okay. But the whole is that though we are receiving mercy, the fact that we are not receiving the recognition, the fact that is somebody else is receiving all this, the pride, kama, krodha, lobha. This is lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. Matsarya, envy has everything of a little bit of it. So the most prominent one for the holes in the heart is, it is not the anger. It is not the lust. As surprisingly as it is not the lust, it is not the anger. Not the kama, not the krodha, and it's not the greed too. Illusion and envy. So that part, they are more like holes in the heart. So though even though we are accumulating the mercy, we have this intolerant nature inside. Not tolerating, intolerant nature. So we are accumulating mercy, but because of that nature, and they are like Hrudaya Daurbalya, intolerant nature. Then whatever is accumulated, that makes the heart hard, and that mercy is leaking from there, seeping away like that. These two are the main reasons. Main reasons. It's not so much about that Satrishna, but it's more about the greatest and very significant factor, an obstacle in spiritual journey. In any tradition, it is acknowledged that it is envy, the most subtle aspect. So that is one thing. And if that hole is being fixed, then the mercy will hold in the container, like that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. But,
and envy is, in the mainly it is envy against Krishna. That is what manifests.
right. Yeah. The uprooting of envy can happen with complete shelter of the holy name, shelter of Krishna. Because envy is the absence of love of God. Yeah, like that. That is the fundamental thing. But that's the fundamental thing. The japa. That's why Jivdaya is a byproduct of Namruchi. And with the strength of the Nama and with the inspiration of the Nama, then this envy is addressed.
But Mataji, when envy is there and deep-rooted this Jiva's envy is towards Krishna, how the same Jiva is also taking shelter of Nama, which is Krishna himself, because there also, so that envy will be stopping us from taking full shelter also, isn't it?
Yeah. That's what. Basically we are using Krishna. If we're not taking shelter of Krishna, we are using Krishna.
We're using the Nama
Yeah, we are using Nama, that's all. Using Nama so I can get what I want. Using Nama so my pain can go away. Using Krishna. And when I realize, I am really using Krishna. This is not fair.
Mm.
And then the Namapasa starts.
Mm. Mm.
Until then, it is, yeah.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Mm. Thank you. Thank you. More things to think about, but thank you.
Mm. Yeah. Then this, we will not be just a. This is not a small thing to overcome
Yeah.
our own strength.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, the Harinam and the Gaur Katha, pastimes of Krishna, all those together. But in any case, I have to. This is who am I playing with? Krishna.
Mm.
Who am I
Mm.
trying to? Who am I
Mm.
trying to keep this away from? Hide from Krishna.
Mm. Mm.
So, yeah, like that.
Mm.
Yeah. Mhm. But you know, in the sangha of those who are free of that,
Mm. Mm.
you know, when we say pure-hearted devotees, they're free of it.
Mm.
Their shakti is different.
Mm.
So uh, their shakti is different. Their vani is different, and with when we hear them so much, so that their world becomes our world, then we
Mm.
wonder, what is this envy?
Mm. Mm.
It's because of
Mm.
their potency.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So
Mm.
it is because of their potency.
It
Because
reflects in our heart, right?
right. So
Mm.
wahan se,
Mm.
not so much about our own self.
Mm.
We, we
Mm.
we may be able to try to do this thing or that thing a little bit here and there every now and then.
Mm.
But when it
Mm.
hits hard, it hits hard. What
Yeah,
will it do?
I know. I know.
In Srila Prabhupada's audio that was posted here,
Mm.
uh, trying for peace and happiness without Krishna? No, impossible.
Mm.
So
Mm.
one should submit to Krishna, surrender to Krishna. There's no
Mm.
other way. Acharya says this
Mm.
emphatically. There's no other way
Mm.
like that.
Mm. Mm.
So when they speak like that, then our tendency of looking here and there will is
Mm.
curtailed.
Mm.
Of
Mm.
tendency of looking here and there, and when we hear them more, so you know, it is their world. You know, Krishna Samsara, their world. So they'll
Mm.
be able to take us to their world, give a glimpse like that.
Mm. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes, dear, please. Anything else? Anything else from anyone?
Hare Krishna, Amma.
Hare Hare, Mataji.
Yeah. Actually, text 88 and 89 caught my attention, Amma. I just wanted to remind
Sure,
that.
sure.
Yeah. Here, Sanatana Goswami says very clearly that in 88, um, there is no other way to see the Supreme Lord. That is Vasudeva, Lord Vasudeva, whose form is eternal and full of knowledge and bliss, will always appear in your purified heart. And also, he says that Srila Sanatana Goswami explains very clearly that we have to have full focus and I will read it, Amma. Supreme Lord is all pervading and is manifest only by his own wish. If he cannot be seen with the eyes and other senses, only if he wish to manifest in our heart, then we can identify, or we can imprint that in our heart. So for this, the main goal is to avidya, when we are acquiring the knowledge from a devotee, as you mentioned, from the Gaudiya Vaishnava, only possible to have that kind of mercy. That's what I understand, ma. Our Guru Parampara and our Vaishnava culture is very, very Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has we read in the morning. By his actions, we know that by showering the lot of love and affection towards other Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, there it incepts the love towards the God, so, and to Gurujana, and then Godhead.
Yeah.
That's what is my understanding, Amma. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Any more deity devotees? Anything? Rami?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. My pranams to you, Mataji. Mataji, you said intolerance and enviness. So is intolerance is
Yeah.
kind of subset of enviness,
The
Mataji?
same.
Or is
Yeah. Subset. Subset
okay,
of them.
Mataji. Okay.
Yeah.
And another question or a request kind of, Mataji, like out of Navaveda Bhakti Smarana Dasha, can we can you talk more about that Smarana Dasha, Mataji, elaborately, in not now, maybe whenever possible during the Katha?
Yeah, Prabhu. Again, that for that to happen, Marana has to happen. In other words, free of bodily and mental platform.
Mm.
Only when we are free from body and platform of mind, then the Smarana Dasa is possible through beyond the body platform, mind platform is the intelligence. And on the intelligence is the place for Guru and Krishna, Sadhu Shastra. So intelligence is the place for Sadhu Shastra. So it's the Sadhu that takes the Jiva to the Smarana Dasa, because it is beyond the body and the mind. Beyond body and mind identification. In other words, it is you know tamaraku mida nituputtu. It is like this. The muddy water is there. The lotus leaf or flower. It may be in the muddy water, but the mud is not touched to the leaf because of that waxy coating, right? So like that, the consciousness, it doesn't operate and is not affected by this bodily or mind and think. Not the body and mind are kind of so inseparable, So when the thoughts are even the thoughts are also, they just come from a different zone. They're not self-centered anymore. Let's put it that way. The origin of thoughts is not self-centered anymore. When they are born from the intelligence, which is place of Sadhu Shastra, it is Shastra Chakshu. They are not self-centered anymore. I like that. So in light of that Shastra Chakshu and Sadhuvani, the Jiva, it is like a bridge. The Shastra Chakshu, Sadhuvani is like a bridge where Jiva can walk to the other side. And that is Marana. The body and mind is left behind. In other words, the thoughts are not self-centered, but are so much born from the very origin of the thought is the sadhuvani. Where is the dirt for it anymore? So that is the channel for the smarana. That is the vehicle for the smarana. You know, when you have to go to the other side of the river, from this side to that side, you have to get on to the boat. You have to get on to the boat. So when you sit in the boat, then boat is the carrier for you to the other side. In that way, sadhuvani is the carrier for us from this side of self-centered, ego-centric world to the other side. Sadhuvani is the carrier to get to the other side. The thoughts that spring from sadhuvani, they will take us to smarana. We cannot go. This mind cannot do this. All the thoughts that spring from this mind is just based on self, aham, mamita, I, myself. How can this take us to the stage of smarana? They're only the obstacles. They entangle us in this world. But the consciousness, the thoughts that spring from the sadhuvani, they take us to smarana. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you so much. Thank you. Oh gosh, thanks. If anything else? Yeah, Mataji. Anything else? Just Mataji, आपका कुछ? Anything from his side, ma'am?
I think Mataji, I was just hearing, trying to absorb it. Thank you.
Thank you. ठीक है. So we will pause here. Thank you all so much, dear devotees. Thank you. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. वैष्णव ठाकुर की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत भक्तवृंद की जय. Thank you. Jagannath Mataji, did you had something to say?
I'm just hearing Mataji.
The last word was Sadhuvani.